Hey coin collectors, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. And today we're going to take a look at the 1969 United States dimes. We're going to look at the D for Denver, the blank for Philadelphia, and we also have an S or a proof San Francisco dime that we're going to look at a little bit later. But let's start with the D and the S. And so over here, right underneath Roosevelt's neck, you see a D right there. And let's magnify it all the way up. This one looks kind of like an O. Sometimes these get a little chipped up, but that's because there's only two mints. We know that, well, two mint marks plus a blank. We know that this is a Denver mint. And over here, of course, we see the Philadelphia, which in 1969 was still blank. There was not a P here until 1982. And so what do we got? Well, we have a Roosevelt facing to the left, Liberty in front of him. Underneath his chin it says, "In God we trust," and you can see this kind of got mushed in a little bit, same here. And then we have the date. And then way down here, we see that there's some letters. And those letters are let me see, right there. You see right over the top of the pen? That's a J and an S, and that's for John Sinnock, Sinnock, who was the engraver of this coin. He first engraved this coin in 1946, just after Roosevelt's death. Now, of course, you all remember that the 1946 to 1964 coins were silver, 90% silver. These ones right here are not 90% silver. If you tip them up, you can see that there is copper inside there. And this is 75% copper and 25% nickel mix on the front, and then the inside is a pure copper center. So what they do is they just put in a mix of copper and nickel together and cover the outside, and then if it was a sandwich, the inside would be the pure copper center. At the Denver Mint in 1969, they made a bunch of these. They made 563.3 million. So this coin is worth a dime or 10 cents, and it's going to be worth 10 cents every day. And this particular coin is probably never going to be worth more than that. This coin. Now, could you get it in a better condition? Sure you could. If you get this coin in an MS 65, you might be talking about $6. If you get the Philadelphia coin in an MS 65, you may be talking about $7. And if you get it at a higher level with what they call the full bands. So let's look at the back and see what the full bands actually is. So this is the back of they're both the same on the back, of course. And so when we look at the back, we see it says United States of America. Across the center here, it says E pluribus unum. Let's see that. And then down here, it says 1 dime. There's not anywhere on a 10-cent coin in the United States where it says 10 cents. This is 1 dime or 1/10 of a US dollar. On the left here we see olive branch. On the right here we see a oak. So oak is a sign of strength. And that's actually on the German coins too, which is kind of funny, those beautiful oak patterns on the German coins. So oak, sign of strength. Olive, sign of peace. And then we have the torch here. Sign of kind of eternal life, or goes on forever. Now, if we look at both of these, we see that there's some, like a faint outline across the top, faint outline across the bottom. That's what they call the bands. If you find one of these with a full band version, the D coin, the Denver coin, once sold for $999 with a full band version. Well, what is a full band version? You want to see? Well, we can actually show you one, not of the D, but we can show you one of these. And look at this. A little bit of a difference, huh? Let's turn these over and make these a little bit. Yeah, so you can tell that that's a 1969 S without actually even looking at it. If you ever got a D or a P that was in this kind of shape, then it would be worth $100 or hundreds of dollars. But this is the S, so let's magnify it. You can see actually the S underneath his neck. And then the JS is very easy to see on this one. The In God We Trust go all the way around the outside. Now, this is not a silver dime. This is still the copper nickel with a copper center dime, and we can tell that by just tipping it up a little bit. And you can see the copper inside, the kind of the brown copper. These coins, this particular coin is worth about $4, $3 to $4. This comes in a proof set, and so it's a proof coin. And now we can see the bands. So if you could find a Denver coin with bands like this, and but see the bands how on the ones we have here, the circulated coins, you can't really even tell that there's two bands on this one. You kind of maybe can. And you can't really see what's going on at the bottom. But look at this coin here. See the two bands here going down the torch and the two bands here at the bottom of the torch? See how defined this little like bell-shaped thing at the bottom of the torch is? You can see the acorns on this one. You can see the olive on this one. This coin is a proof coin, but it is not a highly valuable coin because you can only get this in a proof set. There was 2.9 million proof sets made, and they're all going to be in really, really, really good condition. People usually don't touch them, but we had broken open a proof set, and so we kind of just put them right up here. So S for the San Francisco Mint. Look how big that S is on there. Now, one of the things that happens on some of these coins is from the Denver Mint is there is a double strike on them. So whenever you get a Denver Mint, so not this one. Let's look through some of these Denver Mint coins. Some of the, oh, look how great the D is on this one. So see how this got kind of burnished around. This, even if this was a double strike, it might be hard to tell, but the double strike is you look for the doubling of the letters, and we're not really seeing that, but see how good that D is there. Let's look at another D. That's a pretty good D there. And see how this got flattened here. This is just general coin usage. Remember in 1969, we're talking about 52 years ago. So, and there's a D, a worn out D, and really we're not seeing any doubling here. And some of these ones, it would be hard telling if there was doubling because they're so used. What did they have before they had the Roosevelt dime? Well, it turns out before they had the Roosevelt dime, they had what was called the Mercury dime. And there's Mercury with the winged wings coming out of his head. It says Liberty around the top again. In God We Trust still, 1944. We see this is a W. This is a West Point dime. We do have some modern West Point dimes, usually as special issues. But so this coin, this prior coin, is the 90% silver. And you can look at the side and see the silver. And on the back of the Mercury dime, guess what we have? A similar instrument, but more of a axe type instrument, a war instrument. On this one it says United States of America. Again, it says 1 dime. So let's look at the back and compare the 1 dimes. Very similar design, as you can see, with the trees going up around on this one. The pluribus unum is here and it goes across, but this is the old Mercury dime. You see the stars here instead of the dots. This one is worth, say, $3 to $4. There is a silver version of the 1969 dime, and that is also in a very special set, and that's worth a few dollars also. But whenever you have coins that only come out in a special set, sometimes they're not as valuable, not whenever, but often, because this one is gonna always look this good in everybody's set, maybe a little bit better in some sets. Sometimes you get like more of a cameo version where the face just pops right out of the, almost like when we tip it, you can see how the face pops out. This is close to a cameo, but because it's a proof coin, not highly valuable. All right, so what are we looking for when we're looking for the 1969? Look for the 1969D, look for the doubling, or look for one that's so good that it looks like this, but it's a D. And that would be worth maybe close to $1,000. All right, have a great day from DC Coin World International Coin Channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you might have in the comments section.